Welcome back, everyone. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob here. And I think Bob has a story to kick us off.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything that's happened since March has been pretty good. Like, nothing really bad has happened. It's just been a fucking whirlwind of like everything in my life. We went to Naples in March. We went to Augusta in April. We moved the gym in April. Went to Charleston and Kiowa in May. Went to New Jersey for a wedding last week. And I've also gotten a new car in this time as well. Now, the car I got was from Michaela's aunt. So, uh, the deal I got on it's phenomenal. So it's like what I'm about to explain to you is why I went through what I went through. So, I get word it's like, hey, this is available. And then, like, okay, I'm interested. All right, working on it. No problem. So couple weeks go by, and I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. I go, I know it's gonna be right around the bachelor party, and I'm gonna have to fucking run around with this car. And again, it's like, I well, I can complain because it's my
I
my
mean,
my it's my time to speak,
I was gonna say you can do whatever you want.
but like I don't want that to get confused as ungrateful because again, good opportunity.
Right.
Now let me fucking complain about it. So Michaela tells me it's like, oh, okay. The car's coming to Dorchester at the office on Monday. I'm like, great. Here we go. And I'm like, all right. And she goes, well, if you don't have anything Tuesday morning, come to work with me, pick the car up, and then you can like whatever, figure it out from there. Got it, no problem. So, talk to my insurance agent. He does all the paperwork, which was awesome. Like, thank God. Because it's
Yeah.
like I don't actually like reach out to my insurance agent much. So it's like I don't know what the entire scope of what they do is or isn't.
Right.
So when the car got to Dorchester, she was able to send me the pictures I needed and he was able to fill out the paperwork. Okay. So when that insurance stamp is on that paperwork, you have 7 days to get the car plates transferred. Well, it's a Monday. Some quick math would be 7 days would be Monday.
Right.
I'm flying to Charleston on Wednesday at 6 a.m. So I effectively have Tuesday to get it done.
Right. Right.
Okay. So I drive with her to work. I get the car, drive back to my house because it's too early to go to the registry. So I'm dealing with like a little bit of like Milton Academy, Milton High, Fontbonne traffic, like get to my
Yeah.
place, eat something quick, like drink some water because I don't know how long it's going to take at the registry and start heading to Braintree. So get to Braintree a little bit later than I wanted. If they open at 8, I was probably there at like 8:20. So, get my number. I'm like the 11th person under my letter. So it's like I haven't been to the
Yeah.
RMV in a while because I
Yeah.
did my last license at AAA.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
That's usually
great.
where I do mine too.
I don't know how many people are going to be here, but I'm letter fucking I and I'm the 11th of I or whatever it was. I don't know. Q, whatever.
Yeah.
So not too bad. Like it started slow and then it got rolling. So I'm out of the RMV in about an hour. Like done with what I needed.
Right.
Like paid the sales tax, gave them the paperwork they needed, like good to go. Um, so from there, drive back to Milton. I'm like, all right, what's my fucking next move? Because again, as our 7 day rule, I got 7 days to get an inspection sticker on this thing.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait till Monday. Now, again, because you roll the dice, sure. But I'm
Yeah.
really trying not to in this situation. So go down the street, someplace. I don't even know if it's Hyde Park or Milton. I have no fucking clue. Go. I'm like, can you do an inspection? Yep, couple minutes. I go, I parked over there. I go, someone was blocking your driveway. Where the fuck do you want me to throw this thing? He goes, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I fucking hate mechanics because that's all they, yeah, just whatever. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, like a Forerunner's not a small car. I can't just quote unquote do whatever
Yeah.
because if I pull it in here, it's gonna be blocking everything.
Right.
Whatever. So get the inspection sticker and finally head to work. So that was like a 6 hour ordeal, basically, till I like got to work.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, no, I glossed over a decent part. I forgot about the part where I cut my fucking hand open changing the license plate. So, uh, I transfer the plates.
Yep.
I'm back in my place. This is before the inspection sticker. So I take the old plates off of the new car.
Hmm.
Nope, no problem. I needed to go get it. So I'm like this is like the shit that like is so fucking stupid, but it just is the way it is. So it's like,
They were
you know,
probably rusted, so you
well, I
needed
grabbed
like
well, so
whatever.
dude, even dumber. So like I grab a screwdriver and I go outside. Well, that's not good enough. And again, I live in a townhouse. So it's like need a ratchet. Go back inside, go back to the basement, get the ratchets. Come back out. Ratchet off, unscrew, go to my old car. Bolts are rusted. Great. Socket it out. Bolt gets stuck in the bit, like in the socket.
Yep.
Can't get it out. Awesome. Grab another bit. Good enough. Gets it off. That one gets stuck too. So now I got to walk around the back of my unit because the
Should grease those bitches
WD-40,
up
the
first.
WD-40 is in the outside storage. Yep. Come back out, spray the socket. So hopefully it just kind of gets in there. Whatever. Put my plates on the front. I think the front I could do with a screwdriver. And then I'm using an eyeglass screwdriver to pry out the rusted bolt. And I'm like sticking it in there and then smashing it off the ground, like trying to pop it out. And then I get like a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm like prying it out. That slips, cuts my thumb open, run inside because I just cut my thumb open, covered in rust and WD-40. So I'm back inside. I'm in the kitchen. Band-aids are upstairs. So it's like I'm in the kitchen. I wash it up, wrap it in paper towels, go upstairs, try not to bleed everywhere, get the fucking band-aid on. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, good enough for now. Go back outside, get the new plates on the car. Or I'm sorry, get my plates on the new car.
Right.
That's
Right.
done. Get the bolts like, hand tightened into the old car and pull it into the garage because in like the town or the HOA, you can't just have an unregistered car just sitting there
Right.
because now my old car has no plates.
Right.
So pull that in, leave it there. Fine. Now I got to clean all this shit up. So it's like
I
back
should have just left
inside.
it and waited for an angry email from your HOA.
Well, see, she would have had to deal with it, not me.
Yeah.
Because technically I'm not a property owner.
That's fair.
So whatever. So finally, like get myself cleaned up, go get the inspection sticker, come back, finally go to work. That's the 6 hour ordeal. Bleeding everywhere. She texts me when she gets home. She goes, did you cut your hand open? Sure did. Um, so the new car is good to go. We have a little bit of a wrinkle here. We have a car with no plates that needs to be sold now. So I know what everyone's probably thinking. Oh, just call CarMax Carvana. No, like no problem. Like I can do that. But I know a guy at a Toyota dealership that I would like to sell the car back to. Like
Right.
he's hooked me up. I'd like to sell him the car so that he can sell it and his dealership can make their money.
Right.
And I know everyone's saying it's like you're an idiot. CarMax will or Carvana will just come pick it up on a flatbed. Again, this is like I want to do a solid
Right.
for this.
You're doing a guy
This
a favor. He hooked you up to get
right.
that Camry in the first
I
place, or the
also
Corolla.
have a
I mean, he hooked
feeling.
me up with the
Yep.
Tacoma.
So I have a feeling that the other thing is too. It's like he's going to give me X dollars for the car, and then he's just going to take it, and that's it.
Right.
Like these other people, I don't know them. I've never worked with them. Maybe they don't do this, but it's like, oh, I didn't realize there were two dings on the right side. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that the tires had this much tread. Oh, I didn't realize that you're like mid oil. Like,
Yeah. Well, I didn't
actually,
realize you're like 4,000 miles away from needing new brakes.
it's like, oh, it's actually this, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at that point they have you because it's like, they probably
Right.
have the check, they probably have the flatbed, whatever. So it's like I don't know how that process works, but I know how this one's gonna work.
Right.
And like I said, doing right by people that have helped me out before.
Right.
And then if I ever need something in the future, it's like, if he's still doing it, then, then there's another one there. So text him. He texts me at the bachelor party in Charleston. Like, hey, here's what we'll give you for it. And I didn't answer him until I got back because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I
Yeah.
go, no problem on the value. Value's good. I go, only issue is I had to switch the plates, and I got nothing on them. And he's like, all right, hold on. Let me work on this. He goes, maybe I can pick it up with a dealer plate. So that was 2 weeks ago today. I still don't have, I'm sorry, I still have the other car in the garage. Um, so then naturally, so like again, it's been 2 weeks.
Oh, dude, just call Carvana.
So here, well, yeah. So it's like, but again, it's in the garage, so it's not bothering me right now.
Right. No, true, true,
But I already
true.
know what's gonna happen. Like this dude's gonna be like someone or somebody from the dealership's gonna be like, yeah, I can come get it. How's Thursday at 11 sound? I go, absolutely
Right.
terrible.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, like no, that doesn't work.
It sounds like it's not going to work.
Like, oh, can you do 1 or 1:15? I don't know. I kind of got to be back. I don't know, dude. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't just like beck and call here. I'm almost like, you know what? Just call for a tow and take it off the fucking check. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even care at this point. Um, because someone else at the gym was like, selling your car? I go, I'm not selling it to you. I already got an offer on value. I go, and that's probably no questions asked. I go, you're probably going to look at it and be like, oh, well, what's that sound or what those dings or what's the brakes? It's like, don't ask me that stuff. I go, I'm not doing
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Um, so in the last 2 weeks, though, everyone's been kind of asking, it's like, oh, how's the car? And I go, truthfully, I don't know. Yes, I've been driving it every day, but I only drive it like to from work. It's just 138 the whole time.
Right.
Uh, moving from a Corolla to a 4Runner, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
So it's obviously much higher up,
Right.
but it's not super wide. So it doesn't feel difficult to drive, which is nice.
Yeah.
Um, and I assume the Tacoma's probably similar. Like, yeah, it's a truck, but like it's
Yeah.
not the
But the
biggest thing in the world
the
here.
biggest thing for me was the length because it's a double cab with a 6 foot bed. So
Yeah,
it's
that's fairly
quite
long.
literally like driving a boat, but the width has never been an issue because it's a
Yeah, so
Tacoma. It's not a F-150 or a
right,
Silverado. Like if
right.
I
So
was
it's
in a
like
Silverado, like that, those things are wide.
yeah, and that's the
Um,
thing with like the 4Runner is even like looking at it in a parking spot, it doesn't have that much wider of a profile than like a RAV4. So it's like it's
right,
really not that big.
right, right,
It's up.
right.
And even like the trunk, like I've been saying this for so long, like my Corolla used to be able to hold so much stuff and I used to be able to put like 8 foot boards and stuff in there. Like it was crazy that trunk. Like it was so good because it's like the 4Runner trunk's not bigger. Now I could probably
Yeah.
play with the seats and move some shit around. Like again, I don't have time for this shit right now. But like, so but then it's like, oh, well, how do you like the car? I'm like, I don't even know because I got it. I drove it around like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then I flew away for 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. Then I got it. I did nothing but go to work for a week. And then we skipped town, went to New Jersey.
Right.
So it's like, I think it's good. Like I got no
Yeah, yeah.
issues. It's like, but like I really haven't had any time or any occurrences or any like whatever
Right.
to really like determine like how much better or not better it is. Like I can't well,
Right.
I can't quantify that anyway,
Yeah.
but I do like it.
Yeah.
Like I do like being up. I do like that it's a newer, nicer car. Like I'm good with
Yeah.
all of those things.
What year is it?
22. Um, so it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously I got rid of 40,000 miles on the primary vehicle I was driving. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's like in terms of like, oh, well, like do you just like love it? It's like, I don't know. Like, I gotta drive through the center of Stoughton every day. Don't love that.
Yeah.
That's independent of the car. And
Right.
now
Right.
and now I sound like my fucking mother where I need to like know what the fucking train schedule is in Stoughton
Oh, yes. You don't get stuck on the
because it
crossing.
gets stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I'll get out early one day. Nope, that was useless. Hit
Nope.
the train.
Yep. Yeah, that's what happened to me in Framingham one day when I was
Yeah.
leaving work. I was like, oh shit. Because I was for a while I was just going back roads to Framingham because I was like, whoa, I'm not gonna take the Mass Pike. You have to pay to drive on the Mass Pike. You pay like 16 cents. Right. And I don't want to
Yeah,
hear like, oh
if
yeah,
you got an if you have an easy pass, it's like 30.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you don't have an easy pass, it's like 60.
And all the people that are like, oh well, yeah, it adds up. Okay, it's a client that I don't go to every day, and even if I did go every day for a month, what is that? $12?
Yeah, I was gonna say 12 bucks. And do you don't, oh, you don't get
Yeah,
to expense that stuff, but you get
I do.
mileage
I do.
reimbursement.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you do
I can
expense.
expense tolls, but I never
Yeah.
do. Because what am I going to do? Because they pop up individually. So what am I going to do? Expense 30 cents at a time? My expense report would have like 120 fucking items on it, and like 70 of them would be for 30 cents. Like I don't care. I did, like I said, I don't
Giving it
care about the $12 a month. Like
giving it away.
it's yeah, yeah. Um, I get reimbursed for mileage, and that covers the tolls and gas for me. I don't give a shit. Um, but yeah, now I just drive on the Pike because the twice I got stuck by in that train in
Yeah.
Framingham, and I was like, this is fucking miserable. So I'm just gonna drive the Pike because it's way easier.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing. I have a way around, but I have to drive the wrong way to drive the right way. And I just hate that shit.
yeah, yeah, that's
Like I have
annoying.
to drive south to go north. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
And if I leave at the right time, it's fine. Like it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
right. I remember you said it was red. Is it the
It is
same
red.
red as the Corolla
Yeah.
or is it different
That's the
red?
thing. People are like, oh, you really like red. I go, no. I was just given two phenomenal deals. They just both happen to be red
Right,
cars.
right.
Because that's the thing is like I'm not a huge car guy. So it's like if you offer me like a deal that I'm looking for, and it's like,
Right.
oh, but the car's red, it's like, okay, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like, because I'm more concerned about the deal and whatever. Like,
right,
if I was walking in there with a blank check from you, said buy whatever you want, would I buy red? Probably not.
right.
But do I really give a fuck? No, I don't.
Yeah, nope, nope.
Don't care.
Yeah, that was one of those like when I was going through getting the Tacoma. Shout out to JD. And he was like, all right. I mean, at that time it was 2021. So it was like peak like shortage of everything. So he was like, all right, I want you to give me three colors that you like. And then he came back like 10 minutes later and was like, give me four colors that
I mean,
you
four
like.
colors and one that you absolutely will not take.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he said. Now that you say it like that,
Yeah. So,
I think he
can I
was,
give you two that I won't take? No. One.
yeah. It was like, yeah, actually give me four and give me one that you absolutely won't take. Cause I remember telling him I absolutely do not want that blue, that like electric blue
Yeah.
that they make in like it's a Subaru blue, right?
Mm.
It's the WRX blue
Yeah.
that they just it's like you see Tacomas and other cars. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately I was like, dude, like I don't really care about the color. Like whatever you can get me. I was like, my number one choice was that like gunmetal silver. And I was like, yeah, it's whatever, man. And then
Yeah.
he called and was like, I got a deal. And it's not what you wanted. I was like, okay, well, what is it? He was like, well, I got you the double cab, um, but it's a 6 foot bed and it's the sport package. And I was like, okay, am I still gonna pay the same amount of money? And he goes, oh yeah, same deal. It's just it's not what we agreed upon. And I was like, yeah, but it's better than what we agreed upon. Because I was originally just looking at like an SR5 or like whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I got you the sport and it's in black. And I was like, cool. As long as it's the same fucking deal and I pay the same amount of money that we'd agreed upon, you can give me whatever you want.
I
But
actually
it
actually
took,
texted I actually texted him because I was in his neck of the woods this
oh,
weekend,
yeah,
but without knowing, so I don't know the area. Uh, so without knowing what we were doing or where we were going or what any
right,
of that meant,
right,
I'm like, I can't meet up. But it was the same thing in Charleston. Like the dude I know that's down there. Like I told Chris Healy, I'm like, I'll text Mike once we know what we're doing.
right.
I never knew what we were doing. And then in the time we were gonna Uber to fucking Reds, we didn't fucking get in the Ubers.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the shit that happens. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
But yep, so the only other piece of that was I did have to get an oil change in the car too. So it's like I got back from Charleston, spent Monday doing whatever it is I do Monday. I couldn't even go Tuesday either. I had to go Wednesday. And I know what some people are saying. Oh, Valvoline, it's 15 minutes. There's a garage. They were pretty good to me. It's not a deal, but it's correct
Right.
price. And
Right.
usually they like check the fluids, check the tires, check the brake. Like they usually check on that shit. And they
Right.
tell me, oh, you need it. And it's like, nah, not now. And then my car doesn't start. Like shit like that. It's like, oh, that
Right.
battery's in tough shape. Nah, I'll get it some other time. Hey, it didn't start. Can you do that battery?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like those guys have been good. So I just booked an appointment with them
Yeah.
instead of doing the
Th-
Valvoline thing.
I think I might have mentioned this before, but I think that when I buy my car, because technically it's still under lease, I might actually
Yeah.
pay off the rest of the lease right now because there's only, what are we in? May? There's only 4 months left, 4 payments left. So I might just pay off the rest of it and then not have a car payment for 4 months and then get ready to get fucking walloped with a double car payment of my lease, whatever my lease is now because of fucking interest rates. Um, but I think once I buy it out, I might just start changing my own oil. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if
I
you
mean,
so it's not hard, right?
no, it's not. I've done it
And
on the snowblower and my lawnmower.
okay, so
So I
let's
know it's
put
not the
this
same thing.
okay, so let's have a big boy conversation for a second. Because yes, I've changed the oil in my fucking Tonka truck over here. Uh so I don't think it's hard. I do think you need to make sure that you get the correct materials. Like
Yeah, you need the funnel,
if you're
you need
sitting
the
there being
catch
like,
basin.
well, do I really need this? Yes. Whatever you're
Yes, you do.
thinking, I think you
Yeah,
need the right materials. After that, I don't think it's hard because I think I'm definitely oversimplifying it, but I do believe it's as almost as simple as unscrew,
it is. Pull the plug,
drain,
drain.
screw, fill.
Yes, it is that easy.
Now, a lot can go wrong there. And actually,
Sure.
but by wrong, it's like it can't even be that wrong. It's just you spill. Like
Yeah,
that's the worst that happens.
right.
Which if they can wash oil
Whatever.
off those
There's no
ducts,
ducks around. I'll just make sure there's no ducks in my front
so I
yard
was
when
gonna
I
say if
change
they
my
can wash
oil.
oil off ducts, you can throw some fucking dish detergent down on the fucking driveway. Um, that or you can start leveling off the grass, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately you just need the right stuff, and I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah. No, no.
Also, I don't know
Um,
what a Valvoline charges either. So it's like, and I know it depends on how much oil you're putting in, whatever.
right.
Like, I don't even like, are they cheap or are they just convenient? I don't even know.
I have no idea. It might be like Might be like 75 bucks actually. Amy, how much do you pay when you get your oil changed at like a Valvoline? 90 bucks.
for a Jeep.
Yeah,
Okay, so
at a Valvoline
I paid like
with a coupon to
oh
clarify.
oh fuck that then. My guys my so okay, so I paid like 98 for a Forerunner, which probably takes about I don't know, 8% more oil than a fucking Jeep. Like
Is it a V6?
I don't know. I'm so bad, dude.
Truthfully, I don't know if they make Forerunners that are four cylinder.
No, it's definitely not a 4.
Well, that's
I
yeah,
don't
that's a six cylinder V6. Yeah, you're
so
really not a car guy.
okay. So when you were asking is it a 6, it could be an
Yeah.
8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's true too. It could be an eight.
I don't think it's an 8. Because I
Yeah,
don't think
because
Michaela's aunt was fucking hauling fucking shit. I mean, she did live in Maine, so I don't know what the fuck they
right.
do up there.
When you
Like,
tap
you
the
hit a
gas
fucking
pedal, do you
moose, you might
like
have
in
no,
back to the seat?
no, no. And it's
um,
hey, it's louder than a Corolla.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
I so dude, I would assume it's a 6. Don't ask me about the size of the engine or any of that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
I
3.6 liter.
yeah, don't ask me that. Don't ask me which model of engine. I barely know the model of fucking trim that I have. Like, it all happened quite quickly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and as a fucking idiot, no, I don't know all the details.
Um,
I think it's a limited, but I don't know the engine.
yeah, yeah.
Bigger than my old car.
Yep. So the one thing I will say is I agree with you on the being higher thing. Like when I went from a Subaru Legacy to to the Tacoma, being up higher, much better. It's way cooler. I enjoy that. And also the having a six cylinder. I don't think I would ever go back to a sedan and or a four cylinder ever again. Like the difference between like stepping on the gas pedal and it's a truck, right? It's rear wheel drive and it's a long truck. But like when I hit the gas pedal, that thing fucking moves. When I was in the Legacy and I would hit the gas pedal, it would move a little bit, but it would be like the classic, like the fucking like a Japanese engine. You know what I mean? Like it was just kind of revving, and it would go, it would move. It had some giddy up to it, but nothing like the Tacoma. And like I said, that's it. That's a rear wheel drive boat that's heavy, right? Although it's not super heavy. Again, you pickup trucks are deceiving, right? Because there's literally no weight in the back, because it's an open fucking truck bed. But I think in total, like the curb weight or whatever, it's still you know more or heavier than a Legacy. But yeah, I mean that thing's got some giddy up to it. Like I said, when I hit the gas pedal when I'm getting on the highway, they ain't no worries that I'm going to have to get up to speed real quick. Like I can get up to speed pretty fucking fast.
So the thing I've noticed is that I don't know. It doesn't. So this is definitely feel. It doesn't feel like the car accelerates very
Mm.
fast. But I also was driving 90 one time, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you don't notice. Dude, I did the
I'm like,
same thing when I first got the truck. I was on the highway and I looked down. I was doing like 92. And I
I'm
was like,
like,
holy shit. It felt like I
don't
was doing 72.
you don't need to be driving that fast.
Yeah, definitely don't need to be going that fast.
But like the only thing that like again, this is just like a feel. It's like because the car is obviously a lot bigger and boxier, like it does drag a little bit.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, again, I haven't had to really like do a lot outside of
Yeah.
that one day running around like a fucking dickhead. I've only driven on the highway like twice, and I've pretty much been driving exclusively in traffic. Like that's all I've done in the car is drive in traffic. That's it.
Yeah.
And I haven't really taken it for like an extended drive. Like probably the most I've driven it's 25 minutes in traffic and
Sitting at a train track.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, okay, so like I was able to get it to like 90 at one point. I don't even remember which highway that was, probably 24. But coming
24 is
back
the
from
Wild
Market
West.
Basket, coming back from Market Basket, so that's probably it.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely know like so definitely higher, definitely way more stable, like on the highway. I mean, obviously it drives nicer because it's newer.
right, right.
Um, and yeah, just it. So I suck at. I will say, in my own opinion, I suck at parking it. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine. But like
Yeah.
everything seems to be just a little to the right and a little pointed right. So I gotta,
I mean, you'll get that with time.
yeah, I gotta figure that part out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
ever so slightly, like to the right and pointing right.
yeah,
The pointing
yeah.
right's weird. I don't get that one at all.
Do you back it in or you just pull it in straight?
Well, I've been mostly pulling because now that we work in the plaza, like
Oh
all the
yeah.
spaces are open. Sharon Country Club, all the spaces are open.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You just pull right through.
yeah, so it's like I haven't really been parking like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say part of the back end crew now. I will like exclusively only pull my like back my truck in
Yeah, I mean,
because
I'll probably try to
trying to
get you.
back it out of a spot
Yeah, I mean,
is just stupid.
I'll probably try to get used to it. Um, we'll see.
Yeah.
But of course, so the first day I did take it to Market Basket, pull in, stop me if you've heard something like this before. I'm putting my groceries in the trunk, slam the trunk. Another forerunner pulls in next to me. Guy gets out. He goes, oh, how what year's your truck? And I go, it ain't a truck, it's an SUV. Stop. What
It's a
year?
SUV.
What year's your truck? 22. He goes, oh, don't you just love it? I go, yeah, it's great. Getting into it with you. He goes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
He goes, this is
awesome.
my second one. I ran the other one to like 300,000 miles. These things are like, don't die. I go, glad to hear it. Awesome. Like, we're not fucking friends because we drive the same
Yeah.
model car.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, no. It's just yeah,
First
people are
fucking
so
time, too. Jesus Christ. No, and this is the thing. When I drove a Corolla, no one fucking said anything. Like, oh, Corolla crew, like,
yeah.
we're not fucking special because we drive fucking the same model car. And that's the other thing. It's not the
Yeah.
same year, color, or
Right.
fucking trim. Like, what are we talking
Right.
about here?
Yeah. Yeah. We're not friends just because we have the same car, right? Pal, go fuck yourself.
God.
Was there also three open spots right next to you and he just pulled
No,
into that
actually,
one?
so like he did pull into like the one spot, but
Yeah. Fucking
yeah,
uh
we have a wave now too, like Jeeps.
oh cool. Yeah. That's fun. So
So yeah, I
you
mean,
got a
just
new
add
car.
add that to the first 5.5 months of the year so far, which again, it's like it is like it's like a glue OD or fucking eating cat food. Like these aren't real problems,
You
but
always
I
eat the cat food.
feel like my fucking life is chaos and all for good stuff, but just fucking chaos.
Yeah. You are one of the very few people that I appreciate this about you. I appreciates that about you. But you are the one of the very few people that can take something like that and turn it into a fucking hassle.
Absolute ordeal. Absolute ordeal. And like the other, and it had to be the
The
day before I
week.
was
Yeah.
leaving.
Yep.
Not even the
Yep.
week of, the day before. And the
Yeah.
flight had to be 6 a.m.
Yep. Yep. So you have 7 days to do this, but really you have about a cumulative 37 hours.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, and never mind when I get back after the trip, like Monday's a wash. I have to get caught up.
Right. Right.
That was the thing is like I didn't get caught up until like Wednesday at 6 p.m. because of everything. I'm like,
Yep.
fuck off.
Oh man. Yeah, that's always like
Luckily, until the wedding, I really only have like the behind the scenes like wedding stuff to do. I don't have any events. I don't
Right.
have any out of town. Even
Right.
like I think we do have something, maybe like her aunts or something. I think we might have a dinner. She's probably like, yes, we do. It's sometime,
Yeah, it's
uh,
then.
maybe the week after next. It's something like that. I'll ask her
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she's there for, right?
Like that's
She
fine, but that's
keeps all the
fine.
dates, right? So
Well,
I always ask Amy, I'm like, hey, are we doing anything on this day? And she'll either say yes or no. And then she'll be like, yeah, I
usually,
told you this already. And I'm like, ah, well,
well, so
I
I'm
don't know.
usually pretty good, but I did have a moment last week where someone said something about a wedding, and I go, oh no. And I text her, I go, do we have a wedding in October? And she's like, yeah, my friend Kate. I go, fuck, it's Columbus Day weekend and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I was like, I had this fear. I'm like, wait a minute, we have something else, don't we? And then the second she said it, I go, yep, now I remember.
Yep. Yep.
Back to back Leif Erikson Day weddings for us.
Oh, wow.
We had one last year and have one this year. But yeah, I'm like, I'm usually okay with significant stuff. But like right now, it's like I can't even keep up with anything. So it's like
Yeah.
weeks ago, her aunt asked if we were available, and it was like, okay, well, we're booking fucking 5 weeks from now. So, but either way, it's like that's local. That's local enough, and it's
Right.
like, thank fucking God, man. Like,
Yeah.
I need a fucking break here.
Dude, so like sometimes I get into it with people at work and I swear they think I'm fucking crazy or like half retarded, which isn't
Well,
far off.
they wouldn't. They would
Um,
actually they would be wrong because you are fully retarded.
correct. But there'll be times where like I'll completely forget something. They'll be like, "How did you not know that's what it was?" So I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't put it in my calendar. I didn't write it down." Like there's certain things like events and dates and meetings and things like that. Like just the way my brain works, like I don't have the capacity to remember any of that shit. So like if I literally don't write it down, I will forget it. Like I 100% guarantee you I will forget it. However, if we're in the middle of a meeting and someone brings up a question that's like, "Oh, how many Howorth biosafety cabinets were there on the spreadsheet?" I can sit there and be like, "Oh, there's 12." And they're like, "Well, how do you know?" Well, I don't know. I just remember there was 12. And they're like, "All right, hold on." Because someone would be like, "Oh, I thought there was 14." And they pull up the spreadsheet. They're like, "Oh, yeah, there's 12." Yeah, I know. I told you. Like there's certain things like that where like I'm just retarded. Like I just there's a certain amount of things, right, that I just remember, right? Like I don't know why or how. I have no clue, no idea how it works, right? But some things like I will just always be able to remember and recall. And then there's some things like meetings and dates and events that I just don't fucking know.
So I get it with the kids a lot, and it's obviously like it sucks because dealing with like younger kids, and they'll be like, "Well, you said this." I go, "That doesn't sound right at all." They
Yeah.
go, "No, I didn't." And they're
Yeah.
like, you definitely did. You told me that." I go, "When?" And they're like, "Last week." I go, "Was it?"
Yeah.
I have no clue what you're talking about. And then they give me a detail of like something that tips them off that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I go, "Oh, yes, now I do remember. This is exactly how it went down." I go, "This is what I said. This is what you said. This is what I told
Right.
you you weren't going to remember. And this is why we're having this conversation yet again. So go
Yep.
ahead and tell me I'm right."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like it takes me. There's a lot of times it's like you got to get that hamster running again.
Right. Right.
Or yes, it's like, well, you know how I'm autistic. I was listening to the Hack It Out podcast today, and they were doing like trivia stuff, and there was like, oh, it was like Brooks Koepka has the lowest aggregate score, like 264 or something. So not to par, just aggregate. It
Right.
was like he did it in 2018. They were like, oh, where did he do that? And I'm like, Bellerive. And they're like, was it Bethpage? I go, no, Bethpage was the next year. It wasn't that. And they're like, well, it can't be Bethpage. Bethpage isn't a par 70. I go, that's because it's Bellerive. Like I'm having this conversation in my head, and they're like, "Where was it? Oh, something with a funny name." I'm like, "Yeah, Belle Reve. It's in St. Louis. He did it in 2018. It was in the summer. I remember. It was like making fucking divot holes, like
Yeah, yeah,
whatever." Oh, it was Belle Reve. I'm like, I fucking told you that. Told you
yep,
that minutes ago.
yeah, yeah.
Like minutes ago. I can go back further too if you'd like me to.
I think my autistic superpower is like pictures and visual things. Like I can remember like pictures and numbers really well. Because it's like shit like that will come up all the time. Like we deal with like Gantt charts and like schedules and things like that, like Excel spreadsheets all the time. And like if I see something long enough, like I can just remember it. So it's like instances like that, right? In a lab for a pharmaceutical client, we're trying to move biosafety cabinets. So like, oh, how many of these or how many of those? And it's like, oh, there's 14 Haworth and there's 9 New Air, and I think there was only 3 Lab Conco. They're like, how did you know that? Like, well, like, I just say I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, I stare at these numbers for long enough and then I just remember them. Like if I stare at a picture long enough, I'll just remember it. Like if I said that to people, they'd be like, "Wow, you're fucking retarded."
Well, it's like you could just it's like, oh, how do you remember that? You ever see Rain Man? No. All right.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I don't know because I wouldn't call it a photographic memory because I can't do it with everything. Right? It's like something like if I focus on it or if I see it enough times, like if I see it over and over again, then I just remember. That's why
Yeah,
like
it's
I
like
never had to do anything in school. Like anytime we did anything, whether it was like middle school, high school, college, like I never had to study really anything. Like all I had to do was just like read something in the book and like look at the notes. And then I could just remember that shit and be like, all right, cool, here's your answer.
yeah, it was always it might be the kinesthetic side of things. I always needed to do. Like,
Yeah.
don't show me, don't tell me, just fucking put me in it.
Yeah.
Or let me so actually I was telling this like one of the guys at the gym, he brought his kid to see Classic Gary, and he's like, "Oh, I just really like he's good at coaching, like like the qualities of like a decent coach." I go, "Yeah, it's like he is. He's a good coach because he doesn't tell you like do this or do that. He
Right.
asks a lot of questions like." So he goes, "All right, so you changed he goes, you changed something there. What did you do? What were you thinking about? What'd you do? Whatever."
Right.
And then whenever he asks me an open-ended question like that, it's gotta be him thinking 38 regular in a straight jacket because the stuff I tell him is absolutely insane. It is nuts. I go, well, it feels like I'm, trying to hit a foul ball to left field, but full knowing that I'm just gonna pull it onto the target and hope it curves back. It's like, what the fuck? Because he's like, type. He starts typing that out.
Yeah, type.
Yeah, yeah. Like crazy man says something incoherent about baseball. But that's the thing. I'm like, oh well, it feels like a bag of sand, and it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? But that's the thing. It's like because that's how like phases of coaching kind of work and like how people learn. So it's like you show me what you want me to do, I can't do it. If you tell me, we're a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But until I feel something that you want me to do,
Right.
which is why this doesn't even pertain to school because you can't put me in fucking a math equation. But like until like you put me in it.
Right.
Actually, I guess so. This is how it works for math. Because when I was studying for the CSCS, I actually was like, I'm gonna study because I don't want to take this test twice. And it was complete fucking overkill. So what I did was I read the chapter. Then the next day, I went back through the chapter and I took handwritten notes.
Hmm.
And then I took those notes and I put them in a PowerPoint. I did that for each chapter that was relevant to the study guide
Right.
because all the
Right.
chapters in the books didn't matter. So that's like kind of the equivalent. Like, if you show me a chart, useless.
Yeah.
You tell me the numbers in a chart, even more useless, probably even more useless. But if you were like, hey, can you take that chart and can you just like tidy it up a little bit, maybe like put it in a graphic or something? I'll probably remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably why I can
Well,
remember all
that's
the sports
why,
trivia from fucking Sporkle. Because not only do I know it and I can go back
right.
on it, I have to type the shit in.
Right. I think that's why that goes back to the whole thing where um people feel like they learn better when they take handwritten notes versus typing things. Like
But the
that's a
other
real
thing,
thing.
but the other thing is like I was hit or miss just with the notes.
Right.
But when you so it's almost like just more exposures to the same thing, right? But like you're but
Yeah, that's really what it
I'm
is.
tricking myself because I could take like so I would read it and that was fine. So it's like I got an idea. Well, then I'm like actually skimming going through it, pulling out the stuff that I need. So I've written it down once. So I've read it once, now I've written it down. And then when I take it from the notes to the PowerPoint, that's just another method of doing. And then from there, I could even like, take it whatever, take it one step further. You could like do a
Yeah.
quick social media post, an article. I wasn't doing that shit back then, or like whatever, like put it in a program, like shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like other people could just see something in good or hear something in good, but I think many more people are probably wired the way I am, but they don't know that they're allowed to do shit like that.
Right.
Because if you were in high school and I told you like what I was doing, you would have thought I was fucking out of my mind because you can just see something for long enough
Yeah.
and you're good. And high
Right.
school kids are morons. So then, like, the valuable input that they'll provide. So, because it's hard because everyone's like, oh, audio or visual. It's like a whole nother fucking aspect to this shit.
There's a whole nother dimension to it, really.
Yeah. And again, I think like a lot of people like learn by doing. Put me
Yeah,
in
and
it.
I
Tell me.
am 100% not an audio person. Like if you dictate to me what you want me to do and it's not clear enough, I'm like, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what you just said.
Instructions unclear, dick stuck in the ceiling fan.
Yes. Yes, every time actually. Yeah, it's just like I have no idea, right? But like if you show me, like if you write something down or like draw a picture of it and I can see it, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. No, I can do that. Like that's like I can put stuff together, like easy things, right? Like furniture and stuff like that. Not like I can build like a fucking train or something or build a house. Um, so yeah, the first thing I did was train. It's because I'm autistic. It's a fact. All autistic people like trains.
Oh, it's just that one meme where it's like, oh, my son's autistic. Oh, well, he doesn't look autistic. Hey, could you do one autism for me? And then names every train in existence.
But yeah, so like I can look at like an IKEA furniture. I think that's a perfect example. Like the instructions for IKEA, everyone always jokes, right? They're like, "Oh, good luck trying to put that together." I don't need it. Good. See pictures. Like I can see pictures and make them happen in real life. Like I got it. It's super fucking
Yeah,
easy for me.
the amoeba man.
But if I had to like play an audio recording of like
How
take
to do it.
this thing and put that there, I'd be like, don't know, don't know. But this chair would be like all backwards and all fucked up.
I also think if I grew up 20 years later, I definitely would have been diagnosed with ADHD. Because that's the other thing is like I'll listen to podcasts and I'll have like no idea what was
Yeah,
going on.
I think it would be more ADD. I think
Oh,
ADHD is overdiagnosed. I think a lot of it is ADD,
oh, one or the other.
attention deficit disorder. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So that means
Yeah,
like
but
you don't just
no,
not pay attention, you're just fucking all over the place.
yeah, but I've heard like from an actual clinical perspective and not just like an uninformed idiot perspective that the kid who's like out of control doesn't necessarily have ADHD. They might just be bored.
Well, no, that's what I
Um,
mean. I think ADHD is overdiagnosed.
yeah,
Like, I
well,
think it's just
it
kids.
100% is.
Like, I
It
think it's just
100%
kids
is.
being kids.
It's like that South Park. South Park's right about everything, by the way. But
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
South Park is the best.
that episode of South Park where it's like, oh, we're gonna test for ADHD, and so they start reading some long ass boring book, and it's like, on page 7, what happened? It's like, I don't know, dude, ADD or
Yeah,
ADHD.
yeah.
Um, but even like our mutual friend back in Medford, it's like he was supposed to have ADHD his whole life, but so they've always told him it's like, oh well, you're hyperactive. It's like, okay, I am, and it's just like acted like a fucking lunatic all the time.
Yeah,
When it's like there are people with ADD, ADHD where it's like way more subtle. Like they're not
right,
bringing energy like a fucking WWE show
right.
every day just because they've been told that they're hyperactive. It's like they're almost like, I think they're supposed to be like more compulsive, I think. Like they
Yeah,
blurt shit out a little bit more. It's like when they get talking, they don't shut the fuck up. Like
right. Mm.
much more subtle in that sense. But yeah, I mean, um, that's why like even in high school, like I could listen at times, and then there were other times it's like, oh fuck, I am absolutely screwed on this one. Math, screwed. Absolutely screwed.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with like, do you care or not? Like
Which
what,
I
like
didn't.
everyone, I don't know. I know we've spent years bashing the education system, so I don't necessarily need to do it more, but um it's a it almost kind of sucks that you have a general education system, right? Because there's certain people that would benefit from not really learning about trigonometry, but learning more on like art history, right? Like there's certain people that are like drawn to they're creatives, right? Whether they want to
Right.
spend more time like learning how to write prose or like doing fucking poetry or something or like actually physically drawing, right? Like doing creating some sort of art. There's people that are like way better at that shit. And you take someone like me and you put me in an art class and you're going to get stick figures, right? And you're going to get
I've seen
like
those finger paintings you bring home and they
yeah,
suck.
you're going to get the turkey handprint. It's like there you go. That's what I got for you. Like, but you put me in a science class and I'll start ripping like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, right? Like
Well,
I
everyone
can
remembers
spend,
that.
yeah, I can spend hours and hours and hours on science and biology and physiology because like that's what I'm really interested in. Like at the end of the day, like that's really what I give a shit about. I don't really give a shit about Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote this fucking A Knight's Tale in 1650, and like now we have to read it in English class. Like doesn't really do much for me, right? Like I would prefer to take all science classes, but we don't really do that. Like we don't really let kids explore into the, like what they're good at, which then, not to go all Dr. Phil, but then it turns kids into starting to believe that like they're not good enough, right? So like if you have someone like God forbid someone who is good at something in school that's not considered like a major class, right? Like perfect example, gym, right? Like you have
Philosophy
someone who's
101.
you have someone who's a fantastic athlete, but like academically they're not great, right? And they might lead themselves to believe that like they're stupid, they're worthless because they don't do good in school, but like they are way better at any sort of athletic endeavor than anyone else in the school. And it's like, okay, well, why not just let that person like explore that and like develop that, right? Or like art or music, right? I think art and music are another one because they're not major classes. So like if someone is like an unbelievable artist at like 7, 8, 9 years old, like why not let them do more of that? Like why say, oh no, you take this art class twice a week for 2 semesters out of the 4 semesters in the year. And it's like, why? But you're gonna make them do some other stupid bullshit that, like, one, they're not good at, and two, they don't enjoy. Like, why not just let them take art more?
I actually prefer that we do tell them that they're worthless and stupid, and then they're stuck with those titles until they prove otherwise. Because in high school, and like this is like there are some quote unquote brilliant kids in high school.
Yeah.
They're fucking worthless and stupid
Well, yes, by default, because
by
they're
default because they're
kids.
only in high school. They're kids,
Right.
useless.
Right.
College kids are the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure there's 50-year-olds out there that look at
Well,
us
I'm
in our
worthless and
30s
stupid.
and they're like, wow, you guys are fucking morons.
Yeah, I'm worthless and stupid.
Yeah.
You hear how long it took me to get a fucking car sorted out?
Yeah. So
Remember how many trips it took me to get that fucking bank account sorted? Everything is like the moral of like I guess if there was gonna be a movie quote that would sum up my life, it would probably be from The Big Lebowski. He goes, "Why is everything such a travesty with you, Walter?" And I don't know. It just is.
yeah, I think that's your episode title for this.
It fits, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll pull up the actual quote. I might have to. It might actually be, "Why does everything have to be a fucking travesty with you?" Which wouldn't work anyway.
Oh man. Well, I mean, on that note, while you look that up, we can wrap this bitch up.
Yes. Everything's a fucking travesty with you, man. Yeah, everything is a travesty with you. That you can just go with that. I gotta pull up my stupid sheet because I was typing like a fucking dumbass. Hmm. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Okay. So, as I've been on record of saying when discussing the US Open in 2022, going to the Masters, generally I'm not the type of person that wears like logoed gear. Now, Michaela's parents bought me a Ocean Course pullover. Peter Millar, like super nice, like fits good, like super comfortable, nice. Like it's really good.
Mhm.
And yes, I've played the course or whatever. So I wore it one day, played 9 holes by myself early, like no problem. Second day, I'm sitting on the patio, actually waiting to go to that oil change. Guy comes by, he goes, "That Ocean Course sure is something, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it was good." And I'm sitting there and I go, this is the problem.
Yep.
That Ocean Course sure is something, huh? Oh, of course that's on the ocean at one of the best resorts on the East Coast that has hosted major championships and is ranked third in the country by some.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sure is
sure is
something, huh?
something.
That's the quote unquote conversation. That's the interaction you and I are gonna have.
Yep.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah.
So I will continue to wear my pullover because it is very nice. It is very comfortable and it's not super heavy, not super light. Good in between. But yes, me and Farmer fucking Fran over here are gonna have to continue to have these conversations, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like dumb shit like that too. It's like the whole parking next to someone in the parking lot and talking to them
The
because you
same
drive the
thing,
same
dude.
car. Like
Like
whatever the logo is on my shirt is not an invitation for you to talk to me. So
yeah.
how about you just shut the fuck up? Let's do us both a
Otherwise,
favor.
I would have only shirts with a middle fucking finger on them. What course is that? This one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here we are, but it's just again, it's one of those things like it just kind of solidifies everything. Like I'm not doing this. Useless
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah. That's why I love my Sharon Country Club pullover.
Yep.
Well, one, I bought it because I like the color blue.
Yep.
I like the dark blue, light blue thing that I got. But then on the sleeve, like it's the Sharon logo. but
Yep.
it doesn't actually say Sharon. So
Oh,
it's
it's
great.
just yeah, it's just the tree.
It's just the tree with the crossed
Yep.
clubs. Um, I mean, it's great. I wear it literally all the time, especially in the winter. Um, wear it all the time, and no one ever has to talk to me about it because
Yep.
it doesn't say anything on it.
Even if it said Sharon Country Club, they might not know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've worn Sharon Country Club stuff, and people ask, "Oh, what course you at?" "Oh, I'm at little small place, Sharon Country Club, whatever." And then like 4 holes later, like someone else in the group be like, "Yeah, what was that course you said you're at?" "Oh, it's Sharon Country Club. I'm only wearing a hat and a shirt, so I guess you aren't paying attention that much."
Yeah, yeah.
But if it was fucking if it was fucking Pinehurst too, I guess we would have to be talking about the Turtleback Greens, wouldn't we?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
never been there, and I've heard of them. Ah, yeah, like stopping a ball in a Volkswagen, huh? Yeah, fuck me.
Oh man. So my final thought is, have you heard of the portal in not the transfer portal, but the portal between New York City and Dublin?
They have, so you can continue.
So for anyone out there that lives under a
Actually, I
rock,
haven't. So stop talking. Pick a new
yeah,
topic.
yeah.
Yes, I have. I have seen it.
So I don't know, I don't really know how it started, but it was some sort
Did it
of
just
like,
appear there one day?
it just appeared there. I thought I was going to end up being some like marketing ploy for like some company or something like that, but all it was basically a camera and a screen. It was like a Zoom video. It was like a 24/7 Zoom feed in the middle of New York City and downtown Dublin, in Ireland. Yeah, that would be Dublin, Ireland, not Dublin, Ohio, by the way, if anyone was confused out there. Um,
Mayerfield Village.
yeah, we're talking about the leprechauns, not the fucking, I don't know, whatever exists in
I
Ohio.
don't even know what Dublin. I don't. I couldn't even point it out on a map. I just know that Jack's course is there.
Yeah. Um, so
Columbus-ish. I think that's Columbus-ish.
yeah, probably. Um, but as you could imagine, there there was a lot of hilarious shit that happened with people when you just put it in a camera in public and send a live feed, what, 6,000 miles away, 5,000 miles away, I don't know, however far they are.
Probably what,
Uh
6.5 hours ahead too.
yeah,
Oh no, hours
probably
ahead is no
5.
hours ahead. That would be hours of travel, not hours ahead's the same. But I was thinking
Yeah,
like
I think they're
hours of travel.
oh, right, right, right. Yeah.
Because for us to fly to Ireland is like 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they're probably 5 hours ahead because I know
I want
London
to say that's
London is
right.
5 hours.
Yeah, I want to say that's correct.
And I feel like they're close enough where they should be the same time. Um, so all kinds of hilarious things. I think within a day of it being up and running, there was people in Dublin that were like, doing the whole stupid tourist thing, standing there waving, and then someone walked up to the camera and put their phone in front of the camera, and it was a picture of the planes hitting the Twin Towers on 9/11.
That's a tough team.
So, I mean, this is what happens when you open up things like this to the public. You're gonna get some weird shit going down. Um, Apparently last week, there was a string of flashers. So like women would just go up to the camera and like take their shirts off and like flash the camera, and like it was just periodically like back and forth apparently from New York and Dublin. So they shut it down. They turned the cameras off, and as quickly as they just appeared, they disappeared. They said we can't have nice things,
Yep.
so
Yep.
because people are fucking weird.
I do like that.
So
That's good.
yeah, yeah.
Someone probably sat
However,
there too and they were like, "Oh man, this is such a good idea. Like we're gonna connect to like a different part of the world." Nope. All you're gonna get is people pulling up shitty pictures on their phone and fucking treating this like it's Snoop Dogg with a camcorder and Girls Gone Wild.
yeah, yep, basically. So randomly this past Sunday, the portals came back. So they made an announcement that they were returning the portals, and they shut it down last week for quote inappropriate behavior by a small minority of people, after multiple videos of the antics circulated online, right? So again, the Twin Towers thing and the girls taking their shirts off and all that stuff. Organizers announced reopening with a proximity-based solution to prevent people from stepping onto the portals and holding phones up to the cameras. They added fencing and spacing decals in front of the New York City portal. Oh, maybe that's like stickers on the ground, like stand here to be on, something like that. I don't know what a spacing decal is, but that's my guess. Stepping onto the installation or obstructing the camera will now trigger a blur on both sides of the live stream. So if you try and get too close, the screen's going to be blurred. And if you try and hold your phone up to the camera to show pictures of 9/11, the camera will be blurred like automatically. So yeah, they're trying it again with a couple rules now. It's funny because they just like opened it up for insanity, and wouldn't you know, insanity ensued. And then they were like, okay, I guess we do need rules. I guess we do need to have rules here for this.
Yeah, because I mean, not for nothing, you feel that you show the Twin Towers, someone's gonna show the Protestant church, and there's gonna be a fucking holy war all of a sudden. Like,
Yeah, does Ireland have nukes? Imagine
yeah,
they go to war
Ireland,
with Ireland.
Ireland has a secret fucking regime of nukes. It's fucking. They're in Wales though.
That's how the world ends, because a portal between New York City and Dublin got people pissed off and someone fired a nuke.
Yeah, the nuke operator had too many Guinnesses.
Would that be Guinea?
Yeah, Guinnison.
Guinnison, yeah. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. So thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy as well. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. You can go to the merch store, buy some merch, and then also check out the show notes below. Support our sponsors down there. You get some all the links and discount codes that you need to get some cool shit. So check those guys out. Support them. Support us. So until next time, good night, everybody.